Hello from Kingfisher, Oklahoma. Today we're going to give you 5 things from Exodus 18 and 19. So, the children of Israel are going out into the wilderness and they meet up with Jethro, who is Moses' father-in-law. He's a priest of Midian. Midian is a descendant of Abraham, just not the same line as Moses is. And Moses tells him all about the things that have happened, and this causes Jethro to worship God. So powerful and a great response. When we are seeing what God is doing, we should also be worshiping. Then, number 2, Jethro gives some great advice to Moses. Apparently, Moses has been leading the people, and anybody can come to him and tell him their problems and he'll solve them. But he's been standing morning till night, listening to problem after problem. 2.4, 2.5 million people, that's a lot of work. So Moses gets the great advice from Jethro that he should divide the workload, should have 70 elders come and help him with the workload, guys who are of good repute, good reputation, who will do the right thing, who can learn the statutes and take some of the load off of Moses. 3, I want to point out that God is actually prepping Moses, because up until this point, there is no standard to learn. There is no written code for them to hold to. But God's about to give it to him. So this is pretty incredible. I didn't realize how close these stories of Jethro coming and then Moses going up on Mount Sinai and listening to God, they are right there together. So it's as if God says, here's what we're going to do, and then I'll give you the law and you can teach it to them. Pretty incredible. Number 4, God says, if you'll keep my commands, Israel, you'll be like a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. It sounds like the New Testament priesthood of believers. In essence, a believer in God is going to do the right thing. They don't need someone mediating. They don't need somebody leading them. They can just follow God and do what he says. And that's what a priesthood of believers or a nation of priests would look like. Number 5, there will be this holy occasion on the mountain of God, Mount Sinai. It's going to take Israel 3 days just to get ready for it, to cleanse and purify themselves, to put things away. So it is a holy occasion because they are going to see God burning up this mountain with his presence. 3 days prep. And always, when we see 3 days, that's significant in the Bible. It's woven throughout Scripture. Jonah's one example. Of course, Jesus in the grave is another example. Always important when it says 3 days. And we see that God is inviting some people to come. Initially, Moses and Aaron. We're going to see some other people come a little bit onto the mountain. And then Moses gets to go further up and further in, so to speak. But there's this great fear and reverence of this holy mountain. And most people just don't want anything to do with it. And God says, don't go there. Or someone else will shoot you with an arrow or stone you to death. It's that big of an occasion. Wow. Let's check it out, shall we? When Jethro, priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard all that God had done for Moses and for Israel, his people, and that the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt, then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her back, and her 2 sons, of which the name of one was Gershom, for he said, I've been an alien in a strange land, and the other name was Eleazar, for the God of my father said he was my help, and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with him, with his sons, with his wife, unto Moses into the wilderness, where he encamped at the mount of God. And then he said unto Moses, I, thy father-in-law Jethro, am come unto thee, and thy wife, and thy 2 sons with her. And Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, and did obeisance, and kissed him. And they asked each other of their welfare, and they went into the tent. And Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord had done unto Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, and all the travail which had come upon them upon the way, and how the Lord delivered them. And Jethro rejoiced for all the goodness which the Lord had done to Israel, whom he delivered out of the hand of the Egyptians. And Jethro said, Blessed be the Lord, who hath delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of Pharaoh, who hath delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians. Now I know that God is greater than all gods, for in the thing wherein they dealt proudly, he was above them. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrifices for God. And Aaron came, and all the elders of Israel, to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before God. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood by Moses from morning unto evening. And when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did with the people, he said, What is this thing that thou doest to the people? Why sittest thou thyself alone, and all the people stand by thee from morning until even? And Moses said unto his father-in-law, Because the people come unto me, and to inquire of God. When they have a matter, they come to me, and I judge between one and another. And I do make them know the statutes of God and his laws. And Moses' father-in-law said unto them, The thing that thou doest is not good. Thou wilt surely wear away, both thou and this people who are with thee. For this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone. Hearken now unto my voice, I will give thee counsel, and God shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to Godward, what thou mayest bring the causes of God. And thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and shalt show them the way therefore in which they must walk, and the work which they must do. Therefore thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, and a place such over them to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. And let them judge the people at all seasons, and it shall be that every great matter which they bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So it shall be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee. If thou shalt do this thing as God commanded thee so, then thou shalt be able to endure, and all the people shall also go in their place in peace. So Moses hearkened unto the voice of his father-in-law, and did all that he said. And Moses chose able men out of all the people, and made them heads over the peoples, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. And they judged the people at all seasons. The hard causes they brought to Moses, but every small matter they judged themselves. And Moses let his father-in-law depart, and he went his way to his own land. Chapter 19. In the 3rd month, when the children of Israel had gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day they into the wilderness of Sinai, for they departed from Rephidim, and where they came to the desert of Sinai had pitched in the wilderness, and there Israel camped before the mount. And Moses went up unto God, and the Lord called to him out of the mountain, saying, Thou shalt say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, Ye have seen what I did to the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you to myself. Now therefore, if you will obey my voice, and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people. For all the earth is mine, and ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. And Moses came and called for the elders of the people, and laid before their faces all the words which the Lord had commanded him. And all the people answered together and said, All that the Lord has spoken, we will do. And Moses returned the words of the people to the Lord. And the Lord said unto Moses, I have come to thee in a thick cloud, that they may hear when I speak with thee, and believe thee forever. And Moses told the words of the people unto the Lord. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go unto the people, and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes, and be ready against the 3rd day. For the 3rd day the Lord shall come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai. And thou shalt set bounds unto the people, saying, Take heed yourselves, that ye not go up into the mount, nor touch the border of it. Whosoever toucheth the mount shall surely be put to death. There shall be not a hand to touch it, but he shall surely be stoned, or shot through. Whether it is beast or man, it shall not live. When the trumpet sounded long, they came up to the mount. And Moses went down from the mount unto the people, and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. And he said unto the people, Be ready against the 3rd day, come not at your wives. And it came to pass on the 3rd day in the morning, that there were thunders and lightnings and thick cloud upon the mount. And the voice of the trumpet was exceedingly loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. And Moses brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with God, and they stood at the nether mount nether part of the mount. And the Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because the Lord had descended upon it in fire. And the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a great furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly. And the voice of the trumpet sounded long, and waxed louder and louder. Moses spake, and God answered him by a voice. And the Lord came down upon Mount Sinai on the top of the mount, and the Lord called Moses up to the top of the mount. And Moses went up. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go down, charge the people, lest they break through unto the Lord to gaze, and many of them perish. And let the priests also, which come near the Lord, sanctify themselves, lest the Lord break forth upon them. And Moses said unto the Lord, The people cannot come up to Mount Sinai, for thou chargest us, saying, Set bounds upon the mount, and sanctify it. And the Lord said unto him, Away, get thee down, and thou shalt come up, thou and Aaron with thee. But let not the priests and the people break through and come up unto the Lord, lest he break forth upon them. So Moses went down unto the people and spake unto them. Pretty incredible. I wish we could have been there to see the scene. Lightning, thunder, fire on the mount. Pretty incredible. And God is going to give him something else pretty incredible, which is the law. We're going to go through that. Catch you next time.